Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is a Power of Business Friday 15 live chat. Uh, Soon we'll have Connie Hancock talking with Becky Mannon, and we'll have that coming up for you shortly. My name is Bob Birch, and I just want to let you know a few things about the Hangout on Air so that you're prepared for interacting with our conversation. Um, if you're on the Google Plus event page and you've hit the play button, you should already see on the right-hand side of your screen the Q&A portion of our Google Hangout on Air. And if you have a question for Becky or a comment that you'd like to share, all you need to do is to click in the question area there, ask a question area, type your question and submit it, and that'll be shared with our host, Connie Hancock, so she can share that with our guest and get your question answered. You'll only be able to do that if you have a Google Plus account. If you don't have a Google Plus account, you should see up at the top of the screen a prompt for you to create an account. And once you're on Google Plus, then you'll be able to use the Q&A and also comment on our Google Plus events page. If you do have a Google Plus account or you create one today, we encourage you to get connected with our Power of Business Google Plus page. You can do that on our Friday 15 event just by mousing over the Power of Business logo on the top right there and circling Power of Business on Google Plus. So hope you do that. As you can see from the slide, you can also find out more about Power of Business on powerofbusiness.net. We're about 3 minutes away from going live with our conversation. Please stay tuned, and we'll be getting the conversation underway very shortly. Welcome to all the viewers who have joined us so far. Our conversation is going to get underway in just about 1 minute. Before we get started, I just want to remind you that the Q&A section on the right-hand side of your screen can be used to ask your questions, and for you to join the conversation, we really invite you to do that and share your thoughts with our guest today, Becky Mannon. We'd love to hear your questions for Becky about going from being a hobbyist to becoming an entrepreneur and starting a business. It should be a great conversation, and that will be coming up for you shortly. If you want to ask a question, you do have to have a Google Plus account. If you have a Gmail account, you can just log into your Google account now and relaunch the video. Otherwise, you can click near the top of the screen where you should find a prompt to join Google Plus and create your Google Plus account so that you can join our conversation. So it's time for us to get started with our Friday 15 live chat. Here is Connie Hancock.
Thank you, Bob. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to the year of 2015. I'm excited about the concepts of our Power of Business that we've got started in the series of our Friday 15 live chats. To start us off this year, we're actually taking the whole concept of starting a business and talking with an entrepreneur who has taken the leap from being a hobbyist to being an entrepreneur and starting a full-time business. When I first met Becky, it was at a local craft fair, and I was so impressed with not only Becky herself and the passion that she has, but the quality of the product and the uniqueness of her product. And so with that, I'm so excited to have Becky Mannon from Kimball, Nebraska on our live chat this morning. Becky, tell us a little bit about your business, about yourself, and your product.
Hi, as you know, I'm Becky Mannon, and I want to thank you guys for having me. My product is so unique. I love my bears. It's a passion I've had for a long time. As Connie said, it took the time. I guess you might say I took very well care of my folks. And it came last May. I decided, you know what, I did a good job with taking care of Mom and Dad and Steve's folks. Now it's time to do the passion I have, which is the love of my bears. And so I jumped from a hobby into a full-time career, and I love my bears. I started there. Each and every one is unique. I do a lot of the memory bears, and then I also do the mohair bears. I could talk forever, so I'll let Connie kind of ask me the questions because I can just don't get me started.
So let's talk about the bear itself, Becky. What Becky does is she has Bears and Woods. That's the name of her business. And you take memory things of folks that have passed away and create a memory for them using whether it's a fur coat or clothing, something that reminds people of the folks that have passed. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And now that I guess I should say it becomes a reality, especially like with my mom when she passed away. I have now furthered my business into taking it into like funeral homes, because I now know that the first thing when somebody passes on, you want to get rid of everything, and that's the first thing, but yet you want to wait a minute because the healing does happen. My mom has been gone about 1.5 years, and now I know that you've got to keep that stuff, so then you want to make a memory, and I've had great response. It just thrills my heart. In fact, for 2 seconds, I have to show you. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is my mom's jeans, her sweatshirt. I can take anything that you might have, cut it down. This is her actual sweatshirt. This is exactly the way it was, complete with the collar, her earrings. I have done so many unique things. I've done out of military outfits, and the blessings that I have, that it's amazing, because once you give them back, money is no object when it comes to like a memory. And when you give the memory back as a bear, because if only bears could talk, I don't know how I want to say it, but it's really, really unique. I can do anything for anybody that they might, just to kind of heal a broken heart. And that's what my business is all about. And now with Connie, I will agree, she has prodded me. She says, when you're ready to give up because I had a full-time job, you go into your full-time with your bear. She says, I'll be right there for you, and she has been. It's fantastic. There's nothing there's nothing more pleasurable than to work for yourself. It's just unbelievable.
So Becky, how long ago did you start this hobby of creating these memory bears?
About 15 years ago.
Okay.
And I've only went to like the craft shows and word of mouth, so it's been kind of like keeping me going, and now it's the big step to kind of like say, hey, I'm here.
So during those 15 years, what kinds of things did you think about as you moved in from the hobby to being a full-time entrepreneur?
Okay, I constantly was thinking on how I was going to move it from like you know, by the time you get an 8-hour job, 9-hour job during the day, and you got to get home in the evening, and it was so hard to get them done and give them justice. And so I was constantly thinking, how am I going to move it from a hobby into a full-time job, figuring out to get my time together and organized. And so that's what I've done. I moved everything out of my house, because believe me, when people would come to my house, you would have remnants of fur and string. I have it all. I have my own little shop now, and it's fantastic because when I go home, I can now do the things I need to do at home. But there's just, you know, that. So I was constantly thinking how I was going to get my shop set up with my sewing machine and my display for my bears, and just have people to be able to come in here and have an actual shop instead of out of my kitchen or my living room.
About 5 years ago, I think it was, Becky, you took one of the business planning courses. Did writing that down help you think about the steps that you were going to take and the important decisions that you were going to have to make?
You have no idea, Connie. You had us do a book, and you had us write down the business steps. And I'll be honest with you, I did not do any of that stuff in high school. I didn't have any college. I guess it's not really good English for there. But anyway, through your program, it was fantastic because it made me set up the steps that I needed. And I would go back to that book and say, hey, someday, Beck, you're going to do this. And I still have that book. And so, I mean, your program was fantastic. It just, I can't tell you how much, and thank you enough.
Well, I think your passion for your idea and your business, I think, helps other entrepreneurs think about taking their concept of a hobby and moving it into that full-time entrepreneur. And the reputation that you built over that 15 years, I think, was pretty incredible. As you think about the concept of Becky does not have a website at this point in time. She's not online at all, and so all of the marketing that she has done has been word of mouth and the quality of the product that she has created. And the heart of the whole concept of the memory bear and carrying on that memory of folks that have passed on. So Becky, as you think about the future of your business, what are some of the next steps as you mature your business and move into other opportunities?
I am now in the process of finishing writing a book. My book is If Only Bears Could Talk, Teddy Bear Tales for the Heart. It's taken me 6 years. I had a journal and things that I could write down in there. It's just totally cool. Well, as Connie knows, I am not a computer person. In fact, I hate computers, but whatever. And so I'll have to show you my own manuscript. It's ready to be sent off to Zulon, and what I hope this book will endure is I hope it's an inspirational teddy bear book, and I've got 26 actual stories of how it's helped people, and the pictures, and I mean it's going to be the most fantastic book. I've had a lot of good response from it so far, so that's what I'm looking forward to. Plus, dealing directly with the funeral homes, I've had some really good response there, and then Connie has promised me to help me more with the computer, because I realize this day and age it's not the normal phone, is all computer, and I've got to get into the next step, because that's where on my business Connie.
No. Becky, in terms of employees, do you have any employees at all?
No, I do not. And I was thinking sometime in the future I would love to have a couple of ladies work with me, and I've got to get to the point that I realize that people can do if I show them how, but I'm very, very picky, and so I'm not for sure how to go about doing the employee thing yet. But yes, I would, kind of like a cottage industry, I would love to do that.
Any other?
I think I'd be a good person.
Yeah. Are there any other words of wisdom that you have for other entrepreneurs that have a hobby that they've moved in and have built a reputation for, taking that leap into moving into a full-time being an entrepreneur?
Follow your heart and your soul, and don't be afraid to ask, because there's wonderful people out there just like Connie. There's business courses to take, and no matter how old you are, like I only wish I could have done it even 10 years ago, but I wasn't ready. But yes, follow your heart and your soul, because there's nothing like it. I mean, it fulfills your life. It really does. And when you've got a passion for your product, go for it, because it means the world. It really does.
Okay. Well, as we're wrapping up, if there's any questions for Becky, and taking the steps and taking the leap into being an entrepreneur, type those into the Q&A area. Otherwise, Becky, how many bears have you made over the 15 years?
Oh man, I have had a lot of people ask me that. I bet you it's probably close to maybe 350. I should have kept track. I really should have. But I know this last year, like for Christmas, I put out almost, and that was from Thanksgiving on to Christmas. I was delivering them on Christmas Eve, but it's cool. It really is. As I never say no to a customer. That's my problem.
Well, that's what makes you a great entrepreneur, and very passionate and personal about the product that you have for people. And they really are just true to life, personal memories of the folks that were part of our lives. And so if you ever have a chance to come to Kimball, Nebraska, I hope that you meet up with Becky Mannon and find out what all she has to offer in terms of the memory bears. So with that, I thank everybody for being part of our Power of Business today. We do have some resources that are available at powerofbusiness.net for people that are wanting to take the leap. Some first steps for an entrepreneur, whether or not being an entrepreneur is for you. There's some self-assessment tools. There's some additional resources at Power of Business. If you look under the business tips section, it will help you think about what you need to decide prior to taking that leap and being an entrepreneur. Our next Power of Business, the first Friday, is February 6th. We hope that you sign up for that. There is a registration button at the homepage of powerofbusiness.net so that you can automatically get the updates for the live chats. That's 10:15 Mountain Time, 11:15 Central Time, 12:15 Eastern Time. And with that, I thank Becky for being with us today and sharing her story of taking the leap and into the world of entrepreneurship.
Thank you, Connie. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Everybody have a great January, and we'll see you back February 6th.